welcome back to Reality Shake Up, episode 3. You're joined by myself, Laura.
And Angeth.
And Najib.
And we'll be discussing all about entering the workforce and experiences in the workforce for COVID and post-COVID. And Najib will be sharing his experiences about his life in the workforce. So yeah, let's kick it off.
Yeah, it's an exciting conversation we're about to have.
It is. Yeah. So excited. I'm so excited to have you. We both are and ready to pick your brains.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm hoping you won't just pick my brain, but you also pick my afro as well.
Cool.
Ready to do that. So do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? Tell us what you do.
Yeah, sure thing. So my name is Najib Warsame. I'm a Somali community practitioner. I work out here in Brimbank City Council. I've been working here for 3.5 years, doing a couple of different roles at the moment. But the role I'm in now at the moment is I work as a job advocate for Jobs Victoria. My host organisation is Brimbank City Council. But that's the organisation that the funding has come from. And my role is really centered on supporting community members who are job seekers with employment, people who are either unemployed, underemployed, or transitioning, and just supporting them on their pathway towards employment.
Cool. Thank you so much for sharing. How have you find your experience, especially being in lockdown? How has it been supporting your clients finding jobs and navigating their way?
It's been really tough because just the nature of my work, this role has been really focused on being outreach focused. So us supporting community members through going to community centers, libraries, or just all community facilities in general and meeting the people where they are and speaking to them. But because of the lockdown, unfortunately, we haven't had access to people. We haven't been able to find where they are, meet their needs in that kind of way. So we've had to unfortunately pivot our service delivery to cater to people online, which online also has challenges as well. Yeah.
What would you say some of the challenges that you faced have been, and how did you navigate through that?
Yeah, I guess some of the challenges online is that not everyone has access to a computer because for some people, those kind of touch points have been libraries and community centers. And if those kind of places are not opening, those vulnerable community members can't access, those free kind of library spaces. And also especially for our older community members, some of them are not that digitally literate. So it's been tough supporting them. But something that we've just been doing as well is just making phone calls, taking it back, as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so good. And now it's super exciting that things are finally opening up. So how's that been with the whole transitioning of, are you actually working now in person and getting the chance to see your clients and
I'm super excited because people, we will be opening up next week. Us and then all of the other community centers and neighborhood houses and libraries will be opening up. We'll have COVID marshals, of course, to check people in and provide a safe space for people to access those community spaces. But I'm just super excited. People can come in, I can meet with them face to face, support them one-on-one, and don't have to go through Zoom or other video calling platforms to reach them. But they can come in and feel like they're connecting with me on a personal level, as opposed to a technological level. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. And especially with like glitching as well. And
Yeah.
always like, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, exactly. Or like, did you get the link? You know?
Yes, 100%
Yeah,
sending
exactly.
so many links.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Feel
exactly.
ya.
Oh, that's really, really exciting. Do you feel like it's going to be a lot busier now that everything is face-to-face? Do you think that there were some clients that sort of, because everything was online, didn't really participate or, want to, take
I definitely think it will be like a mixed model of like, I think there will be aspects where it'll be super busy because I think people definitely want that social interaction that unfortunately they weren't getting before because of lockdown. So I think people really desperately need that. But I think that also people will be quite hesitant as well because of just the uncertainty of being in spaces again. It's going to take some time for people to get used to as well after the last 2 years especially. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Do you, as a team, have strategies in place to ease your clients coming into face-to-face?
Yeah, we do. I guess some of the strategies that we have is like just making sure like in our center we put up posters and things like that just so people know of like some of the things that they can expect when they come in, like QR, the scanning of the QR codes, training young people or just training people to be COVID marshals within the center who can
That's
facilitate
amazing.
people who are coming in, support them with like checking in, scanning the QR code if they're not too familiar with how to do that, supporting them with like the double vax certificate and presenting that. Yeah
For sure.
All right, awesome. So since we're talking about pandemic and everything and finding work, how do you think the world, how do you think things are going to change now, and how do you think, people finding work is going to look like post-pandemic?
Oh, it's going to be, I think, with how the world of work, it's changed quite drastically because before the pandemic, like with young people especially, there was kind of those ways where like, a young person like could build their experience, do a lot of volunteer opportunities and things like that. But unfortunately now, just because of lockdown, it's kind of not made those kind of ways of building your experience or building your capacity at that sort of young age quite difficult. So I think it's going to make I guess connecting with people that much greater, especially like connecting with like councils, community programs, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Are you finding as things continue to open, there's actually a massive demand for companies and organizations to hire?
I something I'm noticing is there is a demand because just with lockdowns, especially within schools, I don't think, unfortunately, young people were getting the support that they were getting, especially with their career or their career development or, sort of that career information that they get sort of in schools.
Yeah.
So I definitely think there's going to be a lot of support needed, not just for young people, but everyone, especially young people, but especially, within their careers and where they can go and things like that and supporting them along those journeys.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nice. I think it would just take time, and
It will.
yeah, we've been in this like roller coaster for lockdown.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we've been going back and forth with like the easings of the restrictions, the hardening of restrictions, and a lot of other things as well. So it's been a lot.
Sure. I think it's more so now like building that resilience for young people, especially to try and get back into the workforce and building upon those soft skills, which I'm sure like with your job you'll be doing amazing job in getting people transitioning back into the workforce.
Yeah, I hope to do that. So within the job advocate role, like how it works, it's referral based, but we work with a multitude of different service providers, like a lot, like from like employment all the way to mental health, homeless. It just depends on like, I guess, the type of support somebody needs
Yeah.
to get them on the pathway towards employment. So yeah, definitely I'm excited for supporting people, especially ones who are quite confused on like where especially they can make the first general steps. Yeah, because I think a lot of people will be confused.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially like I remember, I don't know about you both, but finishing year 12 and then you're like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
So
What's the
lost.
next point? Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
and you're like given all these uni pamphlets, but
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
only one pathway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I always say, it's so great to see so many organizations and, people like you that are there for young people, because
Yeah.
a few years back, we didn't really have many,
Yeah.
of this. So it's always just so great to see that. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cool. We're massive on self-care. So how have you helped yourself feel good, especially after a rough day or feeling fatigued from working from home? What are some of your self-care tips that you can provide the world with?
Yeah, of course. I'm big on self-care myself. I think it's how we replenish ourselves and how we heal ourselves. I'm really big on that. Some of the things I love to do is one of the things I love taking baths. And I like to make a joke with people that like I have my own bath recipe, which is...
Ooh, can you share it or is it top secret?
Oh no, it's not a top secret. No, it's not. So like, yeah, I'll like in my bath, like I'll be adding all my essential oils, like my lavender, peppermint, tea tree, adding like coconut oil. I even add like milk powder.
Ooh,
I grind my own oats.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'll add Epsom salts. Yeah, and then just rest. I like good rest is important, and just switching off. And then I also, when I really need time to reflect and think, I give myself time to journal. So I have like a reflective practice as well, which is just it's really nice. It's just kind of like an intimate conversation I'm having with myself. And kind of like really unpacking how the day went, what I'm feeling, kind of exploring my emotions. Yeah.
Wow, I love this so much. Definitely gonna, have a chat with you after this and stealing your bath recipe.
Yeah, could you please write it down for us?
Yeah. I will even tell you like the different types of journals I have. So like I have like one where like I type.
Yeah.
And then like I have like a journal where I just draw.
Okay.
So like and depending on like what I'm feeling that day, I'll try to represent that through a symbolic image. And then I have other journals as well. One I have is like a family journal, which I just like collect family stories, and I just put that into that one particular journal.
That's
so cool.
Yeah,
You can like
it's quite
dig
funny.
that up in like 10, 15 years and then show your extended
Exactly.
family.
Exactly. Sometimes, I just sit down with my family and like I'm like, what was it like when you grew up in Somalia? What are some of the things that you experienced? And sometimes I'll be recording them and collecting those stories and just I listen back onto them. So
That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's a time
very
capsule.
creative.
yeah. So like, I have many different ways of caring for myself, caring for the people around me, for my family, caring for my community. Because self-care is just not just about self. Yeah, it's about others as well.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Paying it forward and
Exactly.
helping others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, that's awesome. So tell us, what are some exciting things coming up, whether it's work-wise or, in your personal life?
I guess for me, some things that are coming up, I'm just at the stage right now where I'm just kind of pursuing some of my creative projects outside of work. So I have like a rhyme book, which is, like that's one of the things I did during lockdown where I just came up with all these like rhymes. And they are kind of like affirmations in some ways.
Love affirmation.
I love it too.
Yeah. And then I spoke to a friend of mine and she was like to me, you should just put them all in a book. And I was like, can I just do that? And she's like, yeah.
You can do anything.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, done. So I was thinking of just putting it all together in a book and calling it Affirm and Confirm. Like that is the title of the the rhyme book.
Okay,
Yeah.
so everyone has heard it. It's copyrighted.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly.
it's all yours now.
Exactly, exactly.
Looking forward to actually, reading that.
Yeah, yeah. I probably can tell you one of my. I have a lot. I have a lot of favorite rhymes in the book.
Yeah, share some.
But one, I'll tell you one now. So it goes like this: if you're caught up in a cycle, it's time to recycle.
If you're caught up in a cycle, it's time to recycle.
Yeah, you know.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Or like, you are rare. Treat yourself with love and care. You know.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
so cool.
Love
that.
That's
Yeah, it was.
awesome.
Yeah, but what about you both? Did you like pursue any like creative practices as a way to like reflect or heal or take care of yourselves during like the lockdown? Yeah.
I think for me, I'm very, very similar to you. So really just took the time to have me time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because I'm a people's person and, always about other people and like, my friends and my families and checking in on everyone.
Yeah.
But I think I neglected myself for, a while. So these past couple of months have taught me to just be selfish and like, really like just look after myself. So, like I said, similar to you, just, taking baths, going for walks.
Oh yeah.
Became my best friend, like especially when the sun was out, like I loved that.
Yeah.
Did a bit of meditation as well.
Yes, yeah.
Not really big on journaling, but I've started doing that, and I find that like it actually really helps.
Yeah.
So
And you can do it in whatever way you want. You can like you can do it as like as a story. You can bullet point journal if you want.
Yeah.
You can draw if that's how you want to represent how you're feeling or what you're thinking.
And that's exactly what
Make
I
a mind
found.
map, yeah.
Because I used to think that like journaling meant, like dear diary and then like writing an essay, which I was like, I'm not gonna, I've done that in high school. Like I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
So what you said, definitely like trying different things. Sometimes it's just like, like just random different words and like that just kind of like helps as well. So I'm like, okay, I'll continue. I'll explore.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
What about yourself, Laura?
About myself, so when you said journaling, my eyes just lit up. So over the past year and a bit, probably at the start of the pandemic, I started like journaling every night, and I make sure, even though if it's been a really crappy day, I write like 3 things that I'm grateful for. So that's like kind of like put me in a better position, and it's like, oh, actually the day wasn't too terrible.
Yeah.
Like actually some things like worked out, for example, like getting home safely or like having access to a hot shower after like a long day is always so nice. And walking as well, movement, so very important. And meditation, I actually subscribe to Headspace. It's not sponsored at all, but it did cost money, but I'm like, okay, this is a good investment for myself.
Exactly.
So every time when I wake up, I will put a meditation on and then I'll draw an affirmation cards. So when you said you're writing your own affirmations, I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Are they rhymes? Do they rhyme?
No, they don't.
I can help you in some of those rhymes.
Oh, I would love to. Like, I might start writing them down as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and I also like listen to podcasts as well. I love them, and colouring in. That's my form of meditation.
Love colouring in.
Yeah.
Were you
it's
doing the
so
colouring
good.
the book? Like those kind of
Yeah,
colouring?
those ones. They're so good. I got them ages ago and never touched them, and now like, thank you, COVID.
Yeah.
I'm using them now.
That's
so
good.
yeah.
I think you got me onto them as well
Oh, did
last year.
I?
Yeah. So got
Oh.
myself, a few, and it's
that's
very
awesome.
therapeutic.
It really is. Even those paint by numbers as well.
Oh.
They're so cool. Like, yeah. So yeah, self-care, very, very important. Yeah. Cool. Before we go, I do have a question. I'm quite curious. Like, what made you want to do what you're doing right now? Like, what has led you to this?
Down this path.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess for me, what has led me down this path, because I was once a young. I feel like I'm still young right now, but I was once a young person. like both of yourselves, like
Yeah.
at that stage where I was like transitioning, trying to find my way,
Mm.
trying to understand my worth, trying to understand my value. And I feel like for me, being in this sector, this community sector, it allows me to support other people, come into their power. Because like I feel like once you get to a place of being empowered, you can definitely empower others.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So yeah, that's I guess what led me down this path. Yeah, and it's just yeah, I can connect to other people's stories because yeah, for me, I came here from a refugee background. Growing up in the West, or like other people who are kind of like in those kind of similar positions, I can really understand from my own lived experience and just kind of provide that kind of tailored support, to them. Yeah, and yeah, build a sense of community as well because that's what it's about. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing and
No worries.
taking the time out of your day to
No worries.
come hang out with us. Yeah, it's been
It's
awesome.
been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it. Yeah.
Awesome. That's so good.
So Najib, we're just going to ask, what advice would you give young people looking for work at the moment?
Something I would suggest to young people is definitely make connections and build connections and reach out to people because for me, I'm a big believer in that. Like, there are lots of people out here to support, and there are lots of different services and programs that can support people in an array of things. Yeah, a lot of different things, but people can't get support if they don't know what's out there. So yeah, even if people are like initially connected to like one program or one service or one worker, like even just an initial point of connection, I think is important because that can open them up to like lots of other different practitioners because we're all connected to each other as well. We're all part of the community. So yeah, I would just say to people, just reach out. Don't hesitate. Find people. Yeah.
Cool. What are some services that you could recommend people to access?
Yeah, I guess depending if where they're from, if their local council or which municipality they're in, all councils would have a youth services that they can tap into if they're a young person. They would have like the council that I'm part of. They have the job advocate program, so people can be supported by with employment. There's also some different settlement services as well. Yeah, there's a lot. And then if somebody doesn't know, they can always just ask. Yeah, and we can find the question out for them as well.
And is there a cost to access these services for young people?
Not really. A lot of services and programs are free. I mean, some have probably like at community centers or neighborhood houses, some might attach like a small fee to them, like maybe like $5 or $10 for like a class, depending if it's a class.
Yeah.
But services and programs, no, they would be free.
That's really good.
Especially local services and programs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. It makes it really accessible for young people to access.
Yeah, and I just think that not enough people know what's out there. Yeah.
What do you think will be the best way of actually, letting community members know that, you're available or you're there?
Yeah, the best way of letting community members know. It's a tricky question.
Social media?
Yeah, I mean, so like there are like with our council, like Brimbank, we have like our youth services has their own like what's it called, Instagram and Facebook page. Our neighborhood houses have all their own socials as well. Our libraries have their own socials. Our arts and culture have their own socials. So definitely reaching out on social media. Definitely visiting community centers or facilities. Even if people like even just like speak to somebody in reception, speak to a librarian, speak to any, I guess, initial point or access point, they can connect you to somebody else as well.
So it's about reaching out.
It's about reaching out. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time. And
I would also say like for people initially doing that reaching out, like say for instance like the first person they reach out to is like say like a librarian, and then depending on their inquiry they can ask the librarian like, would you happen to know anyone else that you can connect me with?
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's like that feeling of like 6 degrees of separations. Like that librarian that you might be connected to, or that worker that you, or that one youth worker, or that one social worker, or the community worker, they might have other people within their networks that they can also expose you to
Definitely.
as well. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, like you said earlier, networking is so important, and you never know like who
yeah,
you can get connected to.
yeah. And I think also as well, like people are more than willing. I mean, I hope people are more than willing to like introduce you to people as well. So if you need like a youth worker, if somebody knows of a youth worker, they can connect you. If you need like support of a settlement worker, they can connect you. Or like depending on what you need, yeah, they can connect you to somebody, you know, who has that expertise or that knowledge. Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time today and sharing your experiences, what life's like during working in the pandemic and post-pandemic.
Yeah. No, I hope the information is very helpful for anyone listening, and I hope when they listen, I might get a phone call or an email.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
People will be sliding into your DMs asking
Yeah,
you
yeah.
tips on how to get a job.
Yeah, definitely. I'm here to support. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's been fun having you.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much for listening to Reality Shake Up. We really hope to hear from you soon, and maybe you'll see us more. Bye.
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 Bye.